Goodall has lived an amazing life, and now that life is being captured on film in a documentary called Jane's Journey. And there's been several movies about your life, but this one is considered really the definitive. How do you feel about that?
It's very strange for me to go and see a movie about myself. You know, in a way, yeah, I've seen documentaries before, so it's not new, but to see it on the big screen, of course there was an IMAX, so I've seen the big screen before, but it's a much more in-depth documentary than the others.
And your life has been spent championing the environment and conservation long before it became so popular now. And you've been championing the life of chimpanzees as well. Tell me about that.
It started when I was a little girl, wanting to go to Africa, live with animals and write books about them. Supported by an amazing mother who was the only one who didn't laugh at this ridiculous dream. And, you know, we're now 50 years since I began the research at Gombe. And for a long time, I just lived my dream. It was so perfect with the animals, writing about them, writing books, getting a degree along the way because I kind of had to. And everything was marvelous until I realized the extent to which chimpanzees across Africa were disappearing, the speed with which the rainforests were being cut down, and some of the truly horrendous conditions for chimps in captivity. And that all happened at a big conference in 1986. So that was, you know, I went there as a scientist with a wonderful life, and I came out as an activist.
Right now you have a stuffed animal in your lap, and he reminds me a little of Curious George, but he's not. What is this?
He's very famous, actually. He's all over the film. I've had him 15 years. He was given to me by a blind magician who's actually come for this premiere here in the US. He's been invited. He thought he was giving me a stuffed chimp, and I made him hold the tail. I said, "You've no excuse, Gary." And he said, "Well, take him where you go, and you know my spirit's with you." So we've been to 59 countries, many of them many times. And he's called H, Mr. H, because it's Gary Horn.
And what type of primate is this? And why?
He's nothing. I mean, he's a monkey with some sort.
But what you really work with are chimpanzees. What have you found out about these animals over the course of your life working with them?
Well, first of all, we're animals too, but we don't refer to ourselves as animals, and I can't refer to chimpanzees as animals. They're too like us. So I refer to human beings and chimpanzee beings. And biologically, they're amazingly like us. DNA differs by just over 1%. Ridiculous, really. And their behavior too, you know, the strong bonds between family members, the close maternal bonds that last throughout life. And the fact that sadly, although they're capable of love and altruism, they also have a dark side, and they're capable of violence, even a kind of primitive war. So they are just so like us, and yet we're different. We have this highly developed intellect. So this is the big question. How come this most intellectual creature is destroying its only home? Because that's what we're doing. We're destroying this home for our children.
Does your work mainly focus around Tanzania? And I know that's where you base your work. But are you all over Africa or mainly Tanzania?
The long-term chimp research, of course, is in Tanzania, but we have programs helping chimps, environment, and local people and young people also in about 5 other African countries. But, you know, my life is 300 days a year all over the world because our youth program is now in 121 countries with about 16,000 active groups, all of them choosing projects to make the world better, one for people, one for animals, one for the environment, and learning to live in peace and harmony with each other and with Mother Nature.
And speaking of living in peace and harmony, how do you feel about people, certainly here in the United States, we have people who keep primates as their pets at home, living with them. What's your feeling on that?
That it's absolutely a mistake. And most people do it because they don't understand. But, you know, these are wild animals, and they may be very cute when they're infants, but even the smaller primates will grow up and become very, very unsuitable as a pet, in quotes. Chimpanzees can be dangerous. You must remember the sad story of the male chimp Travis who bit this lady's face off. I mean, what a horror.
That happened in Connecticut just a year ago.
That's right. And, so our institute, my institute, JGI, is campaigning to stop the use of chimpanzees as pets and in entertainment.
And that chimpanzee, Travis, had actually been an entertainer, and I guess he had done commercials and whatnot, and the woman who had him had said that it was the hairstyle of the visitor that set him off. Is that something that you think happened? I mean, I know you weren't there, but...
There's all kinds of rumors. I mean, this person next door was a close friend. And I'm sorry, but chimpanzees, they don't really care if you change your hairstyle any more than a human would. I mean, they know you as a person, not because of your hair. That's not how they recognize us. So who knows what it was?
Now, what is the most surprising thing you found out about yourself in watching this documentary and in having these filmmakers bring your life to the big screen?
I don't think I was really surprised by anything, except I was very moved by some of the things that people said about me in their interviews, particularly my son. You know, I often had tears in my eyes.
What do you want people to come away with from this film?
I want people to come away with what's happened in Germany, where people come away and they say, I just know I've got to do more than I've been doing to make this a better world for the sake of the future. If people come away thinking that and making even small changes in their behavior, then it will all have been worthwhile.
Jane Goodall, thank you very much.
Thank you.